Helena was teaching in Holy Cross College, and she was the manager of the Cinco department up there. I was working in Switzerland, and just one Thursday evening, out of the blue, she suffered a seizure at home. There was only the 2 young children in the house with her. So she went through a series of MRIs and different testing. They were thinking that it possibly could be epilepsy, but eventually an MRI found the brain tumour, glioblastoma. So obviously then we had the pathology result. She had brain surgery on Christmas Eve 2019, and we got the pathology result in the first week of 2020. So it was a major shock and disbelief and total devastation within the family. It was a credit to Helena that a short few weeks after that she picked herself up, and she was unbelievably positive throughout her illness, which is very unusual, I guess. And if you told me that it would be that way prior to it happening, I wouldn't have believed it, but that's the type of person she was. It was a positive household. I mean, obviously then I had to deal with all the other things that were going on around. For example, hospital appointments, organising them, GP appointments, and it takes a lot of organisation, and your normal day-to-day life it stopped. My job was stopped, obviously Helena's was. You're in a new environment. It's like being on a treadmill that's just not stopping. You're extremely busy and you're stressed. It's a totally different environment, and you're thrown into it out of the blue. So things are coming at you thick and fast, and you've all these decisions to make, and at the back of your mind you're saying to yourself, how am I going to tell the kids? It's a natural reaction that a parent will want to protect their kids always, but it is the right thing to do to seek help and get the assistance. Shortly after the pathology result, I got contacted by File Hospice. So you're made aware of all the levels of support that's available, but you're left to approach things at your speed and take on the help when you feel you're ready for it. The sooner you seek help for children when there's a parent or a loved one with a terminal illness, the better. Because once you start early, the information is given very gradually to the children. If you don't seek this help for a child, it's then pretty much like a sudden death in the event of the loved one passing away. And we meet once a month in an adult group, mainly people that have lost husbands and wives. And you can see the difference even amongst adults, different types of deaths. Sudden deaths, the impact is, you can see it very clearly. I was a bit surprised actually when I met the group, and if you can see that amongst adults, obviously it's going to be the same with children. So it's very, very important to use that time wisely if you get the opportunity. Don't hesitate, because when somebody has a terminal illness, a lot of things are out of your control, and you feel, useless in a lot of ways. But you do control this, and it's important to use the time wisely, because it'll benefit the children enormously, and also as a result the adults. I was advised by Michelle about what wording to use. Be clear, use the word date. Sometimes we use words to maybe lessen the impact in certain situations, but in this particular situation it's not a wise thing to do, because children will grab onto any bit of hope. After Helena passed away, I was advised on what to say, and it benefited the children. It's a difficult thing to do, but it's only afterwards when you reflect you see that they benefited from it. For example, when Helena passed away and I spoke to the boys in the kitchen, I said, I told them out straight, Mummy's after dying, and I gave them the option to come down into the bedroom. I said, she looks like she's sleeping in the bed now, but the difference is when you're sleeping and your heart is beating, there's blood being pumped around your body, you're breathing. I said, Mummy's not. So from advice from Michelle, I said, you can come down into the room, You can walk through to the conservatory out the other side. You can peep around the door. You can go in and hold mummy's hand. You can come in with me, or you don't have to go in at all. So I let them make the choice, but they both went down, and I think it definitely helped them throughout the funeral. Then, because of all this advice, it kind of got me thinking about other things, and it gets you into the frame of mind of just being more focused on that. The day of the funeral mass originally was planned for the morning, but the school contacted us and said, is it possible to go back to the afternoon so they could attend? I said, okay, we've got a few hours here, how am I going to use it? So I took the boys out and I showed them, we'll be shouldering the coffin out here, we'll be shouldering down to the end of the road. I had to explain about the undertaker to them, the hearse, because it's different now with children. They're kind of protected from funerals and death, I think, a lot more so from when I was young. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but certainly when you're in a situation like we were in, it probably makes it more difficult. So I took them down to the end of the road, like I was saying, showed them that we'll be shouldering the coffin to this point, the coffin we put into the hearse here. Then I took them in the car, I took them on the route to the church. I took them into the church, I said the coffin will be here, you'll be sitting here. And then took them out the route up to the graveyard. I showed them where the grave was prepared at that stage. We came to the graveyard after the funeral mass. Obviously I was going to be shouldering the coffin, so I wasn't with the kids, but they knew where they were going. It did help them, there's no doubt about it. It's preparation, it's all preparation. And it's difficult to do it, but you can see the benefits for sure after. Healing Hearts have organised a lot of fun days out. They've met other children that have lost parents and loved ones also. So it's good for the children to see that they're not alone and that there's other children out there in similar circumstances. It's a very relaxed environment, it's a fun day. The parents meet, and it's definitely has been very beneficial for them also. And they've made friendships through it, which is very important. In some ways you're kind of a bit surprised that they're doing so well. You think up scenarios, you prepare yourself for scenarios at bedtime, that they'll be crying at bedtime, and none of it happened in our situation, in our case. So you can never plan everything. Some things will happen that will surprise you, but the benefits are clear, very clear. The only thing I would have done differently is that I would have engaged with Healing Hearts sooner, because the sooner you engage, the greater the benefit. And it's very clear for me now. I've no hesitation in saying that. It's a process you don't want to start naturally because you want to protect your children, but I guarantee you, because I experienced it myself, once you start it, you will know that you've done the right thing. You will know, for sure. And it actually, even for the adults, for me, it was it relieved a lot of stress for me, a lot of anxiety, and because it was always in the back of my mind, this needs to be done. But there's so much going on as well, it's easy to even put it off, even if you know it needs to be done. So I wouldn't put too much thought into it, because you will see the benefit afterwards for sure.